Like, when do I get that?
This isn't what I thought it was.
It's not good because
then he goes back to the hotel and
he could possibly lose WAR too.
He could lose WAR after Machado, and now he's losing WAR. That's not good.
So now wait a minute. He goes back to the hotel room.
Yeah,
I'm calling it a night.
Sure.
Ring. His phone's ringing. Who is it?
Who could that be?
It's Jung Ho Gung. Hey, Neal, I'm in town. I just landed in Vegas, and I'm coming over. Let's go to the Bach room over at Caesars. Neal's like, what are you talking about, Jung Ho? It's like I'm going to bed. It's like 5 a.m. now. I just won all this money. I'm trying to get Machado. Jung Ho says no. He says I signed a cheaper deal with you guys. Turned down the option, or you guys turned down the option to sign a cheaper deal. And in one of the incentives in there is you have to play mini Bach with me, Baccarat, at least 4 times in this next year.
Because he loves that game.
He's Asian, so it makes sense. So Neal's in his pajamas. He's swearing up and down. All right, Jung Ho. I'll come out. Plus, he's got to make sure he doesn't drive somewhere.
Well, exactly.
Jesus, yeah.
Jung Ho in Vegas isn't the most ideal situation. So not only does he have to go there to honor the contract, but he's also there to make sure that he can play through his contract.
If any player in MLB shouldn't be in Vegas this weekend, it's Jung Ho Gung. So, though there are a lot of cabs.
I will. There
are a lot of Uber.
Thank God Neal Huntington signed before free agency and the winter meetings, because who knows what Jung Ho would be doing right now trying to get signed.
Good point.
He'd be in Vegas.
Good point.
Wining and dining with everyone.
That's right. So, Neal's got a chaperone. He's got to go down. Yeah. So, they have Bellagio and Caesars have these whole Baccarat rooms. High limit. But, Jung Ho, he's probably playing. Neal's just hanging out and watching him.
Now.
Yeah, so he's playing, and Neal's just hanging out and making sure he gets back without driving a car. So, and I think that's it. Is that his night?
I think that's his night. Now morning. Because they're probably getting back at like 8 a.m., and now it's the winter meetings.
And then next week.
But Neal's done.
Then the next day.
He's done. He's gotten his WAR that he's needed. He's got Manny. They got the money.
Yep.
He just skipping on the Rule 5. He's not even staying until Thursday.
Do it all again the next day. So, speaking of the Rule 5, because that also goes on, I think, Thursday at the winter meetings. I don't know. Do you think at this point, like the Pirates, look, they made that trade for Luplow and Moroff and everything to get to kind of free up the 40-man and to protect Keller and I think did they add Hayes? It was Keller. They added a couple guys, but Hayes might have been on there.
Yeah,
and I think Jason Martin was on there,
yep.
Yeah. So they protected those guys. Like at this point, I don't know. I don't really see the Pirates. They have Birdie, which they picked up from last year's Rule 5, which, had the injury. He's healthy now, supposedly. Yep. So I don't really see them making a big splash in the Rule 5.
The thing is, there's some intriguing people out there, but I'm with you as well. I don't really see it happening. More so the fact that who do they want? What's the benefit of gaining anyone that's out there, knowing you're going to lose someone from your 40-man right now?
Right.
And I don't think I want to lose anyone on my 40-man right now.
Yeah, I mean, they cut some dead weight from it earlier this year, which I had it up. But
yeah, but, think about who's already on the 40-man, the guys who just added. Do you really want to risk lose? Do you want to add someone and then have to drop Brubaker?
Right. Well, no, it would definitely be someone
the people that are out there right now. So I don't know if I really see
now
the Pirates.
If they do a trade where Cervelli or Nova go, and you don't pick up a major leaguer, then there's an opening. So that's a possibility.
But on the same sense, how do you know the trade? What if a signing happens? There's a lot.
Right.
You're at that max right now.
Because you really are.
Need to add people.
And you really, I'm looking through this list, outfielders, Chisenhall, Dickerson, Marte, Martin, Polanco, Reyes. Infielders, Tucker, Ozuna, Newman, Moran, Kramer, Jung Ho, Gonzalez, Frazier, Bell, Stallings, Diaz, Cervelli. There isn't many names you could, shave off this. Nevarakis is a name. It might.
I'm good with him.
They added a couple. They added Clay Holmes. They added, obviously Keller, and then we're going to say Luis Escobar. These are guys. Now they could still, Birdie. They could lose Birdie if they, felt they had a better arm. If they pick up somebody better than him or whatever. But yeah, I don't really see them. Now, they might pick up somebody, but like you said, I think you have to immediately add them to the 40 because you have to keep them on your 25 man like all year.
So if you add someone to your 40, you got to drop someone for your 40. So that means then they're now out there for whomever to
take. So I don't really see it. Like, as far as last year doing the kind of the Nick Birdie thing, which was smart, I don't really see them doing something unless some name presents themselves where they feel like it's a better opportunity than Birdie.
Sure.
But, I mean, we saw a little bit of Birdie at the end of last year, but I don't know. I mean, they stuck with him. He's still there. They have him now.
Right.
They own the rights to him, so.
But, yeah, I don't really see them being that active. And like I said, that's a few reasons for that. And like I said, like, they need to sign people. You know, so someone's going to be gone off that 40-man. Could be Nevarakis.
Right.
But someone is going to be. So it's like I don't see them really adding someone from the Rule 5 and then also free agents.
Because like I said, if they had a free agent or two, you're going to lose probably Nevarakis or a couple of these guys anyway. So, yeah, you could, if they just get rid of the person, like get them and then like a month later get rid of them, but then they have to like offer them back, so then it costs money. But anyway, so they're not going to want to do that. But let's kind of go through. So I just have some news and notes here to kind of wind things down after the winter meeting talk. I forgot to mention this to you beforehand, but we were talking about it last week. Speaking of Brault, as you brought him up in the Steelers earlier, how cool was it, Trevor Williams and Brault going out and tailgating?
No, Trevor. Joe Musgrove.
Why did I say Trevor? Because the IMHO podcast.
Trevor was playing.
And I'm drunk.
Trevor was
playing for the Chargers. That's right.
That's why he was
the enemy that night.
Yes.
So Musgrove and Brault did that video where they were like going out and they're like, you didn't bring the food? And they're like, we'll go tailgate. And they just went out and were tailgating with like just random people. Like, how cool was that?
It's awesome.
That was amazing.
That's what I've said to a few people. It's like, you know what? Regardless of what you feel about the Pirates, the organization, this and that, like, there's just something about this team, and especially those pitchers. The young that rotation, like, they're crazy.
They are.
The personality they have, it's awesome.
It is.
It honestly, like, it genuinely makes you like them as a person. And it's I want them to succeed because they seem like really awesome, good, cool dudes. No one seems like a dick. No one's out there like
no one's
it's about
Jason
me.
Kendall.
I mean, what they have, this bond they have, is awesome to see. So,
but like
that was great. I mean, and they're genuinely funny too. It's not as if like they're just like weird, but like they produce videos. Like they do things outside of baseball. It's fun. And stop it with the don't do those. You should be out pitching. Like. No.
Yeah, somebody made that comment to Brault, and it was like, really?
This is why you're a reliever.
Like, it's December. Like,
it's
really?
Not why he's a reliever.
Like, really?
I love this stuff.
That's what I mean. And I don't
love it.
Look,
you're seeing the human side of like sports figures right
now. These are younger guys, millennials, I guess they're coming up, and like, Brault and Williams have the podcast, and now you're seeing like Musgrove. Like, look, they're three California guys. They're all about the same age. They're having fun. But I don't know if this is like the new thing. Like, you're going to start seeing more of this with younger players in social media. And, obviously these guys are, they grew up with technology. They grew up with phones. They grew up with this stuff. But, like, this is awesome. And, like, the fact that Brault and Musgrove came back to Pittsburgh in the offseason to do this, like, it's amazing. And they just were out tailgating with people. So, very cool. Like, the Pirates didn't ask them to go and do this. No. This was the stuff they're doing on their own.
They saw a Pens game. They saw a Steelers game.
Yep.
Like, the support amongst the Pittsburgh sports figures. Like, that's really cool to see.
Yeah, they were. That's what I said. Because I remember back when they did the video during the season, I think still where, Trevor was out on the field training.
Doing his training, yeah.
And Musgrove was out there. And I was like, are you starting to see a bromance between like Musgrove and them too? And it's like, here we go. Like,
and what's funny too about this is you don't see him as much anymore, and of course he hasn't been playing as much because they're shorter. But like, or the elbow, but Chad Cole too. Like Chad Cole's like involved with that, but it's funny because Chad Cole has like the other demeanor.
Right.
He's like almost like the father figure of them. Who like scolds them about everything.
Right.
And then you have like Jamison Tyon out there has like a coffee blog. Like these guys have personality.
Yep.
And the one thing that baseball's starving for is personality. That's why you like seeing the bat flips and this and that. Like you want to see personality. You want to see what these players are. Everything's supposed to be just very black and white. Just go out there and play the game and shut your mouth. I love seeing.
Put your head down and run to first.
Right. Like you're seeing what these players are. It's great. It's great. I love it.
It's really cool. And especially, look, we do a podcast. We're going to be doing, North Shore 9 Live. By the way,
do
drop
you work
the plug
for
in.
A living?
Yeah, yes.
I work for a living. This
Right.
doesn't affect my job.
No.
I can also do this and also work.
Right.
Just like these guys can.
There are lives outside of work.
Right.
But, we're going to be on Twitch on Thursday, 10:30.
If Stephen
Check
Brault
it out.
was pitching for what? Let's say 24 hours. So maybe 12 hours a day.
Right.
I'd be worried that he's not going to be playing next year.
That he probably would be a little worn out. But like I said, we're into this stuff, and it's cool to see major leaguers into this stuff.
Yeah.
For the Pirates and stuff. And we're not tuned into all the other teams, so I'm sure other teams are, with their young guys are kind of having this but it's cool to see. And I don't know if they have guys that come in the offseason and tailgate in football games. I mean, that's that Pittsburgh connection, I think. It's just, is a Cardinals player going to, they don't have Rams anymore.
I don't know. Is that the Cardinals way?
They don't have the Rams anymore, but do you see that? I think you see it more with the Penguins and Steelers, and obviously they're two good teams. The Penguins, the Steelers, even though they lost today, but it's two good teams, and they have that passion. So to see them come back, guys from California to come and hang out, and it was pretty cool. So it's awesome.
California, like Garrett Cole. I mean, did Pittsburgh not go wow? That's how Garrett Cole, drunk as hell,
pounding the Bud Lights,
beers, right?
He shouldn't. Our starting pitcher shouldn't be drinking at the game.
And that's what you saw, Brault and Musgrove.
He's an alcoholic.
We're pounding back some beers, watching the Pens. The
hot takes from that Garrett Cole game was ridiculous.
Oh,
he's an alcoholic.
Good,
good.
So is Wagner to Kutch.
Right. Which he should be in Vegas right now. All right. The other news and note: there was a trade in the NL Central.
Speaking of the Cardinals,
so the Cardinals they traded for Paul Goldschmidt, which Paul Goldschmidt, DiNardo, is a premier all-star MVP type candidate, first baseman, is unbelievable from the Diamondbacks. So on the surface, this sucks, but there's a silver lining. The Cardinals did give up a pretty good haul when they gave up Weaver. They gave up their catching prospect and Carson Kelly. Yeah. And they gave up another pitcher, didn't they?
And then just some prospects. Andy Young.
Yeah.
He's an infielder.
So,
and they're a competitive balance pick B. So a draft
B.
pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they gave up a lot. And here's the thing. They get Goldschmidt for one season.
Mm-hmm.
One season of Goldschmidt, and it's it's at a decent rate. I mean, Goldschmidt, I pay pretty much anything for 1 year, but it's at a good rate. You get Goldschmidt, you gave up a lot for 1 year. To me, and we saw, the NL Central's what's with this NL Central? It's getting tougher. But the Cardinals, it's 1 year of Goldschmidt. Are the Cardinals a Goldschmidt away from going to the playoffs? Competing, making a run? I don't think so. Not with that pitching staff.
Well, so let me play devil's advocate here too, right? So are you saying are they Goldschmidt away?
I guess
were they better than the Pirates last year?
Mm-hmm.
If the Pirates got Goldschmidt now,
they're better
would
than
you think
they're better than them every year though.
But if the Pirates got Goldschmidt right now, would you think the Pirates have a really good shot next year at the playoffs?
Yeah, because we need a bat.
Right. So, but the thing is, that's what I'm getting at. So they might not be a Goldschmidt away, but this is very early in the offseason. So Goldschmidt puts them in a really good situation, and now maybe they can fill the other needs that they could be there. But a lot comes on, I think, if they can re-sign Goldschmidt. Mm-hmm. They really think they can. They think Goldschmidt's the Cardinal player. And sadly, I see it. And I say sadly because, of course, I want the Pirates to do good.
Right.
I see Goldschmidt being a Cardinal. I mean, don't you kind of?
I mean, I like Goldschmidt, so no. But I mean, I could see it. But here, so you say, okay, they think they can re-sign him, which is obviously that's the huge part in the deal. But couldn't they have just tried to re-sign him in free agency next year?
Well,
or you're saying they're trying to extend him beforehand?
Let's get him because there's validity to this. It's usually easier to sign someone if you've had them, right? So let's bring them on here. Let's see what we have. Now let's try to work with them and sign them, right? I think they're banking a lot on that. Like, let's get him in here. That way we can re-sign him. Because if not,
We could brainwash him.